I can do.
Ford v Ferrari, titled Le Mans 66 in some European countries 4, is a 2019 American biographical sports drama film directed by James Mangold and written by Jez Butterworth, John Henry Butterworth, and Jason Keller. It stars Matt Damon and Christian Bale, with John Bernthal, Catriona Balfe, Tracy Letts, Josh Lucas, Noah Jupe, Remo Girone, and Ray McKinnon in supporting roles. The plot follows a determined team of American and English engineers and designers, led by automotive designer Carroll Shelby and his British driver, Ken Miles, who were hired by Henry Ford II and Lee Iacocca to build a race car to defeat the perennially dominant Italian racing team Scuderia Ferrari at the 1966 24 Hours of Le Mans race in France. Ford v Ferrari had its world premiere at the Telluride Film Festival on August 30, 2019, and was theatrically released in the United States on November 15, 2019, by 20th Century Fox. It received critical acclaim, who lauded the performances, particularly Bale and Damon, Mangold's direction, the editing, the sound design and the racing sequences. It was chosen by the National Board of Review as one of the 10 best films of the year, and at the 92nd Academy Awards received 4 nominations, including Best Picture, and 1 Best Film Editing and the final award for Best Sound Editing. 5-6, Bale also received nominations for the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor a Drama and the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Leading Role. 7-8. Plot: in 1963, Ford Motor Company Vice President Lee Iacocca proposes to Henry Ford II to boost their car sales by purchasing Ferrari, dominant in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Owner Enzo Ferrari uses Ford's offer to secure a deal with Fiat that allows him to retain ownership of the firm's racing team, Scuderia Ferrari. He insults Ford and the whole company. This leads Ford into ordering his racing division to build a car to compete against Ferrari at Le Mans, and Iacocca hiring Shelby American owner Carroll Shelby, a retired driver who won Le Mans in 1959. Shelby enlists his friend Ken Miles, a hot-tempered British racing driver and mechanical engineer. Shelby and Miles developed the UK-built Ford GT40 MKI prototype at Los Angeles International Airport. At the launch of the new Ford Mustang, Miles gives a witheringly rude appraisal of it to Ford Senior Vice President Leo Beebe. Beebe campaigns against sending Miles to the upcoming race at Le Mans as a public relations liability. Shelby reluctantly excludes Miles and sends Phil Hill and Bruce McLaren to Le Mans. None of the Fords finish. When Ford demands why he should not sack Shelby, Shelby explains that despite the GT40's reliability problems, it instilled fear in Enzo Ferrari by reaching 218 miles per hour, 350.8 kilometers per hour, on the Mulsanne Straight before breaking down. He says a race car cannot be designed by committee. Ford tells him to continue the project and report directly to him. During testing of the GT40 Mk2, the recurrent problem of brake fade causes a crash and fire, which Miles survives. The team realizes the rules permit replacing the whole brake assembly during the race. In 1966, Beebe takes over the racing division. When he and Ford arrive to inspect the program, Shelby locks Beebe in his office and gives Ford a ride in the GT40. Shelby makes an agreement with Ford: if Miles wins the 24 Hours of Daytona, then he will race at Le Mans. If not, Ford will take full ownership of Shelby American. At Daytona International Speedway, Beebe enters a second GT40 supported by a NASCAR team with quicker pit stops. However, Shelby clears Miles to push his car beyond the 7,000 RPM red line, and he wins. At the next race at Le Mans, Miles struggles with a faulty door during the first lap. The pit crew fixes it and Miles sets lap records catching the Ferraris. The GT40 suffers brake fade while dicing with the prototype 330 P3 Ferrari of Lorenzo Bandini, so Miles limps into the pits for replacement of the entire braking system. Ferrari protests but Shelby assures race officials it is legal. Miles and Bandini duel on the Mulsanne straight until the Ferrari breaks down, putting Bandini out of the race. With Fords in the top 3 positions, BB orders Shelby to have Miles slow down for the other Fords to catch him and give the press a 3-car photo finish. Shelby tells Miles what BB wants but says it is Miles's call. Miles initially continues to set new lap records, but decides to comply on the final lap. McLaren is declared the winner as, having started behind Miles, his car traveled further overall. Miles is placed second. Shelby accuses BB of deliberately costing Miles the win, but an unusually sanguine Miles lets it pass, saying to Shelby, "You promised me the drive, not the win." From his vantage point, Enzo Ferrari tips his hat to Miles on the track. As they walk off together, Shelby tells Miles they will win Le Mans next time. 2 months later, during testing at Riverside International Raceway, a mechanical failure in the J-car kills Miles in a crash. 6 months later, Shelby parks outside Miles's widow Molly's house and hesitates. Miles's son Peter arrives and the two talk about Miles. Shelby gives Peter a wrench that Miles once threw at him in anger. A textual epilogue text reveals Ford continued its Le Mans winning streak in 1967, 1968, and 1969. And Miles was posthumously inducted into the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America in 2001. We're going to the 145th job at Steak and Shake. About U.S. Steak and Shake was founded in February 1934 in Normal, Illinois. Gus Belt, Steak and Shake's founder, pioneered the concept of premium burgers and milkshakes. For over 85 years, the company's name has been symbolic of its heritage. The word steak stood for steak burger. The term shake stood for hand-dipped milkshakes. Gus was determined to serve his customers the finest burgers and shakes in the business. To prove his point that his burgers were exceptionally prime, he would wheel in a barrel of steaks, including round, sirloin, and T-bones, and grind the meat into burgers right in front of the guests. Hence arose the origin of our famous slogan, "Inside it must be right." After 85 years, we are continuing Steak and Shake's tradition of serving the country's best, freshest, and tastiest burgers and shakes. The Steak and Shake Company is a Bolyari Holdings company. One thing I know he likes to get from Steak and Shake is number 4 bacon and cheese double steak burger, with a side of French fries, and a Oreo mint milkshake. To be honest, that shit doesn't go together. For starters, it's a confusing flavor. Chocolate is supposed to be rich and sweet, while mint is fresh and cool. Together, they clash in the most unpleasant way possible. It's like putting a scoop of ice cream on top of a pizza. This week's hot take is all about why chocolate and mint is an abomination of a flavor combination that should have never seen the light of day. Like, ever. I like the flavor of mint. I like the flavor of chocolate. I like the flavor of mint after I've finished eating chocolate. What I do not like is the flavor of mint while I'm eating chocolate. Mob. It is violent. It is unnecessary. And it is an experience that always leaves me with a quite literal bad taste in my mouth. Mint chocolate is horrid and anyone who tells you otherwise is either a dirty liar or suffering from post-COVID parosmia, because it's not like both of those flavors aren't delicious in and of themselves. Mint is a refreshing and vibrant herb that can stand strong on its own in a mug of hot water and even be used to add a much-needed lift to plates of fatty roast lamb or fiery lab. Chocolate is, similarly, a foodstuff that contains multitudes. Yes, chocolate often tastes sweet and creamy, but it can also taste bitter, savory, and complex. It's an essential ingredient in Mexican mole and the secret ingredient to my very own chili con carne. What chocolate should not taste like is a menthol cigarette being chuffed round the back of the bike sheds or a too quick intake of cold air on a winter's day. Chocolate and mint, like that toxic couple you know who got together at uni but are for some reason still cohabiting and ruining each other's lives, should simply never have met. I know that confections like Haro peppermint bubbles and Cool Mint matchmakers are incredibly popular with the general public, and that mint chocolate chip has even somehow managed to sneak itself into the ice cream flavor canon, but I also know that the general public is very, very wrong about a lot of things. Just take Brexit, for example. The general public was very, very wrong about that and, like the concept of leaving the EU, I simply cannot understand the appeal of mint chocolate in any of its varied forms. I'd go as far as to say that the only good thing about After Eights, that once reached a copyright, now tacky chocolate treat, is the opportunity they afford you to make a terrible joke about the time while you're eating them. Because, aside from that, they're about as much of a laugh as a Kit Kat that's been dipped in Listerine. I'm not a complete hater of the concept of mint plus chocolate, either. It's simply that it never sticks the landing. If you were to take away the chocolate element of an After Eight, I genuinely think that what you'd actually be left with is quite a nice and refreshing post-meal palate cleanser. If you took away the mint element, you'd have a halfway decent little square of dark chocolate. It's only when those two flavors are combined that you get the muddled mishmash that's sold in mind-boggling droves. Yes, it's the popularity of the stuff that continues to blow my mind. One of the greatest snack conundrums of all time is how mint chocolate has managed to make its nefarious presence felt in the frozen food aisle among the objectively lovely likes of Chunky Monkey and Cookie Dough. How have we all been hoodwinked into believing that chocolate and Colgate is an affable combination? Well, according to Wikipedia, my source for all vital cocoa-related information, mint chocolate chip ice cream was invented in 1973 by a student at the Torquay Catering College named Marilyn Ricketts. So let's blame her, shall we? The flavor was actually Marilyn's inventive entry into an ice cream competition that was seeking to find the perfect dessert for the wedding of Princess Anne and Captain Mark Phillips. Yes, really. The A70s were a wild time. I can only hope that Ricketts was a staunch anti-royalist and that her entry was intended as some sort of practical joke and protest against the monarchy, which it probably wasn't. I'll be the first to admit that I'm a vanilla ice cream apologist and a bit of a plain Jane in the frozen treats department but it's not just the rogue taste of mint chocolate that I've got a problem with. Oh, no. If you hadn't realized this by now, I am an incredibly petty man, and another bone I have to pick with mint chocolate is that it always looks a broken bar wrong. There's no need for any foodstuff to be such an unnaturally luminescent shade of green, and there's no way you can convince me that eating an ice cream the color of a glow stick is going to do my internal organs any good. If you want a more naturally colored and delicious, bright green dessert, just opt for something with Pantene in it instead, and don't forget to thank me afterwards, because Pantene is delicious and mint chocolate is gross. Don't get me wrong, I don't mean to yuck anyone's yum here. We all love different things, and people, and that's one of the best things about life. I guess all I'm trying to say is that if you do genuinely, really, completely, and utterly enjoy the flavor of mint chocolate more than regular chocolate, then your palate is absolutely clapped. Sorry. If you're really set on eating mint chocolate, then put some toothpaste on a Cadbury's and call it a day. Just don't try and convince me that it tastes even remotely good. Backpack puns time. Get ready, guys, get ready to pack your bags and embark on a journey filled with laughter as we delve into the fantastic world of backpack puns. Ethioaoidiericisadilla. Backpacks, those trusty companions of travelers, adventurers, and students, hold not only essentials but also a treasure trove of wordplay. These humble carriers of belongings are the unsung heroes of our daily lives, and their punny potential is boundless. Whether you're a globe-trotting explorer, a book-laden scholar, or just someone who enjoys a good laugh, Join us on this backpacking adventure as we explore the world of puns that will make you straps in laughter. Thighs the superscripto I die erisis sedilla. Funny backpack puns. Q. Why did the backpack get an award? A. Because it carried itself with potential. Q. What did the backpack say to the suitcase at the luggage party? A. Let's have a carry-on conversation. Q. How does the backpack keep its cool? A. It's made of zipper cool material. Q. Why did the backpack go to therapy? A. Because it had too much baggage. Q. How does a backpack relax after a long hike? A. It takes a strap in a hammock. Q. What's a backpack's favorite type of music? A. Backpack beats. Q. How do backpacks communicate with each other? A. Through backchannel conversations. Q. Why did the backpack apply for a job in the tech industry? A. Because it wanted to be a back-end developer. Q. What's a backpack's favorite school subject? A. Back geography. Q. How does a backpack make friends on a hiking trip? A. It straps up and introduces itself. Q. Why did the backpack bring a map to the forest? A. To find its way to the backpacking spot. Q. What do you call a backpack that's always telling jokes? A. A knapsack comedian. Q. How does the backpack keep its books safe from rain? A. It uses cover-up strategies. Q. What did the backpack say to the school locker? A. I've got your back. Q. Why did the backpack join the rock band? A. Because it wanted to be a rucksack star. Q. How does a backpack give a compliment? A. It says, "You're packtacular." Q. What's a backpack's favorite way to travel? A. Backpacking. Q. How does a backpack prepare for a long trip? A. It packs its bags with enthusiasm. Q. What did one backpack say to the other backpack on the first day of school? A. Let's carry the weight of learning together. Q. Why did the backpack get a promotion? A. Because it had bag experience. Q. Why did the backpack refuse to go on a trip with the other bags? A. It wanted to solo adventure. Q. How does the backpack stay organized during school? A. It uses its compartmental brain. Q. What's a backpack's favorite type of weather? A. Backpack sun. Q. How does a backpack introduce itself at a party? A. It says, "I'm the life of the ace trap." Q. Why did the backpack get a standing ovation at the hiking club meeting? A. Because it had an uplifting story to share. Q. How does a backpack express excitement? A. It says, "I'm a packed with joy." Q. Why did the backpack bring a flashlight to the camping trip? A. It wanted to shine in the great outdoors. Q. What's a backpack's favorite type of movie? A. Backpaction films. Q. How does a backpack give a high five? A. It straps its hand in the air. Q. Why did the backpack get a part in the school play? A. Because it was bag-solutely fabulous. Q. What do you call a backpack that's always up for an adventure? A. A back explorer. Q. How does a backpack make friends at a travel hostel? A. It starts a backpacking group. Q. Why did the backpack get a diploma from backpacking school? A. Because it graduated with baccalaureate. Q. How does a backpack encourage its owner to explore? A. It says, "Let's say backpack and see the world." Q. What's a backpack's favorite type of art? A. Backstroked paintings. Q. How does a backpack motivate its owner to study? A. It reminds them, "With me on your back, you can accomplish anything." Q. Why did the backpack join the circus? A. Because it could juggle all the essentials like a backpacktacular performer. Q. How does a backpack show appreciation? A. It says, "You're the A back to my future." Q. Why did the backpack become a motivational speaker? A. Because it knew how to backspire people to reach their goals. Q. How does a backpack start a conversation at a hiking meetup? A. It says, "Let's say backtrack to some amazing stories." Q. Why did the backpack apply for a job as a travel guide? A. Because it knew all the ins and outs of adventure. Q. How does the backpack stay fashionable on hiking trips? A. It wears backpacking boots. Q. What do you call a backpack that's always full of surprises? A. A backpack of wonder. Q. Why did the backpack take up painting? A. Because it wanted to canvas new horizons. Q. How does a backpack stay calm in tough situations? A. It practices Zenpak meditation. Q. What's a backpack's favorite way to make friends on the road? A. It offers to lend a strap. Q. How does the backpack react when it finds a hidden waterfall on a hike? A. It exclaims, "What a backpacktacular discovery!" Q. Why did the backpack become a musician? A. Because it had a talent for backbeat rhythms. Q. How does a backpack stay positive during a long journey? A. It reminds its owner, "We're always a backpacking progress." Q. Why did the backpack get a role in the adventure movie? A. Because it knew how to backact. Q. What's a backpack's favorite type of book? A. Back novels. Q. How does a backpack motivate its owner to explore the world? A. It says, "Let's say back up our curiosity with action." Q. Why did the backpack start a travel blog? A. Because it had a knack for backpacking stories. Q. How does a backpack encourage its owner to take the scenic route? A. It suggests, "Let's say backtrack and savor the beauty." Q. What's a backpack's favorite type of weather? A. Backpack sun. Q. Why did the backpack start a podcast about adventure? A. Because it had a backcasting voice. Q. How does a backpack help its owner stay organized on a trip? A. It offers backpack tips for packing efficiency. Q. What do you call a backpack that's great at problem solving? A. A backpacktician. Q. Why did the backpack get a job as a travel photographer? A. Because it knew how to snap into action. Q. How does a backpack keep its owner's spirits high during a tough hike? A. It says, "We've got this. Let's say backpack our way to the top." Guys, as we wrap up our journey through the world of backpack puns, remember that humor is the ultimate travel companion. These puns remind us that even the simplest of objects can carry the weight of laughter and adventure. So, keep your sense of humor close, your backpack closer, and may your life's journey always be filled with joy and a sprinkle of wordplay. Ethio thy, superscripto I die erisis sodilla. Clocking out now.